Welcome back to the List Building Lifestyle. I'm your host, Igor. I get asked a lot, how did I get started in this industry? Because this is not an obvious career choice, if you know what I mean. It's not like you go to kindergarten, they ask you, what do you want to be? And somebody says, I want to be an astronaut. Somebody else says, I want to be a fireman. And, Igor says, I want to be an email marketer and an affiliate marketer. In fact, when I went to school, this didn't even exist. So how did I even get started in this industry? How did I discover the industry? And what was the driving force behind figuring this out? Because this took a lot of figuring out. This industry, this business took me years of actually trying to figure it out. There was no manual. There was no textbook. There was no school. There was no education. There was no faculty. There was no university. There was nothing. There was literally nothing. And everything was guesswork. Sure, there were people who said they wanted to help and sold me courses, but we all know how that can go sometimes. For the most part, it was all trial and error. So it required massive amounts of motivation to overcome the obstacles and not to want to just throw in the towel. So in this episode, I'm answering the question, how did I even get into this whole affiliate marketing / email marketing / info marketing gig, and what drove me to be so persistent about succeeding that all the challenges, all the bumps on the road, all the walls I hit up against, none of them stopped me. So enjoy.
I'm Igor, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the podcast for anyone who wants to build a wildly profitable email list working from home. If you'd like to make six figures, travel the world, and help people improve their lives in the process, this podcast is for you. I also invite you to claim a free copy of my best-selling book, The List Building Lifestyle: Confessions of an Email Millionaire, at igorsbook.com. Get the free book plus $3,000 bonus package that includes my best capture page templates, email swipe files, and traffic blueprints. Visit www.igorsbook.com for details. And now, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Hey everyone, this is David Dekel, and today I have a very, very, very special guest. In fact, probably from all of the people who I've met online, this person has had the most influence on me, and indirectly has been, and actually very directly has also been responsible for basically all of my success. Because without the guest that you're about to meet right now, without meeting him, I think my career and my trajectory would have been very, very different. And he's the one who helped me go from, just to give you an idea, I wasn't even at broke. I was actually below broke. I was over $40,000 in debt. And when I met the person that you're about to meet right now, he took me from being over $40,000 in debt to having my very first $3,000 month after just about a month of meeting him. And from there, it just exploded. By my fourth month, I was making already $18,000 online. And that highest month that first year was over $27,000. So I think without further ado, let me introduce to you my good friend at this point and my mentor, my personal coach, Igor Kafitz. Igor, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited, and it doesn't get old. Like, I keep hearing you say that I'm directly responsible or indirectly responsible for your success, and every single time I'm so flattered. Thank you so much. But I have to give you credit where the credit is due. You were a beast. If there's one quality you had that topped pretty much every other student I've ever had, was that you were a master implementer. You could just sit down and do as told, which was, separated you by miles from everybody else I worked with. So my hat is off to you as well for being such an amazingly easy case study to create,
Right. Yeah. And again, I'm so grateful to being able to kind of have that first initial introduction. And actually the story goes deeper now, but we're not going to get into that. But I actually met Igor a year before that, and I was about to join, and I said no, because I thought that the amount of results that he was getting was just impossible to get. Like, it was beyond my scope of what's possible even. And I said no. And if there was ever a mistake I've made in life and in business, that was it right there that I said no to actually being coached by this person, because I would have been so far ahead now than I am. I mean, today, I mean, by at least about a year further ahead. A lot of people think that we all do this naturally and we're all kind of natural born marketers and we're just born with these skills. That couldn't be further from the truth. I know I certainly didn't have those skills, and you certainly didn't start, was born with marketing skills. So how did you get started in the industry? Tell us about the time that you weren't involved at all with internet marketing. How did that all get started all the way to today?
I immigrated from Ukraine to Israel with my parents when I was about 12 years old. And the thing that happens to you when you immigrate, when you're an immigrant boy, is you get a taste of a different life. So in Ukraine, my dad he was doing well. He was doing he was a small business owner. Before that, he was an army officer in the Red Army, the Soviet Union, but that's kind of fell apart, as you know. So we got used to living, we were probably like a middle-class family. Then we moved to Israel. And in Israel, we became we were like lower than low, right? We were like the pun scum of society. My dad couldn't get a job. My mom couldn't get a job. Neither one of them spoke the language, which was very difficult. I myself, when I later on grew up, had to get, jobs like housekeeping, cleaning toilets and stuff, boss boy at Burger King, washing dishes, security guard at a chemical facility where I would literally breathe toxic fumes every day, and get paid a minimum wage. So, we got a taste of a really crappy life where money was always an issue. And my dad, he couldn't deal with it. Like, to him, going from, doing well and being a provider to being basically a nobody, and not having the ability to provide anymore, I sort of realized that it was up to me to become the provider eventually. And that was sort of the message that was conveyed to me between the lines from my mom and from my dad. So they sent me to this military academy, which was in a different city. So I had to take a bus with 45 minutes every day each direction. And in that military academy, I was basically, they bred me to be like a junior engineer in electronics, right? So I never had a sales background. I was never entrepreneurial. I didn't have the creativity required, to become independent. And my thinking was always very mathematical and very pragmatic thinking. So, when you say, David, that, we don't come into this industry with a bunch of skill sets that make us natural at it, you're absolutely correct, because I was probably the opposite. Because to be, the common belief is to be an entrepreneur and to be a great salesperson, you have to be good with people, for example. And I had huge anxiety with that. I was very, very bad with people. I was specifically bad with girls, which, only added to my whole social anxiety. I didn't have many friends. I used to stay home a lot and play video games. That would be my sanctuary, if you will. So eventually, though, after going through this military academy, where the message is study hard, and if you study hard enough, eventually, after you're done with the Army service, which was 3 years on top of your high school years, you'd get snatched into a really good job, a job that pays you well, that gets you a company cell phone, a company car, a company vacation once a year, some allowance for food and whatever, and clothing, whatever, right? And so I genuinely believed that, until I actually started a project where I would go during the summer between the 11th and 12th grade. I would visit this military base every day to conduct a project on one of the planes. And I got to meet a bunch of these soldiers and the people who graduated their Army service, people who graduated their academy service. And guess what? None of them were happy. None of them were rich. None of them had a life. Most of them still lived with their parents at the age of 27 or 26 or 29. And they were saving up to buy a beat up, Chevy Cruze or something. The life was not really the glamorous life I was promised. A handful, maybe 1% of all of these people did get snatched up into Intel or Amdocs, which were big companies where they got, like a $5,000 US per month salary, a company car, and a company cell phone. But even those guys were not happy, because they could get a call in the middle of the night and they had to rush to the base and, fix something or, so they were not masters of their universe. They were slaves to a well-paying job. And most of them described their job as a golden cage. And again, those were like the super minority, because most people still struggled. So looking at that, I was kind of frustrated. And then a friend of mine said, hey, if you were really thinking of getting rich, you're doing it wrong, the wrong way. I'm like, what do we mean? It's clear you have to study hard, and that's how you make money. Towards, when you're 40 years old, you can be the CEO. And he says, no, you have it completely wrong. There's this guy, Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote a book about it. And he says that, most rich people aren't really educated. They didn't go to school, and they didn't wait until they're 40 years old to be rich. And this comes from my friend who's a deadbeat, literally a deadbeat, somebody who dropped out of high school, who was smoking pot, who didn't have anything going on for them in life. And it made me so angry. I was like, you know what? Show me the book. So we went to his place. He shows me Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read the cover, I read the back cover, I take it home, and I read it in one breath. Like literally 3 hours later, I was done with it. And that book shifts my mindset from a belief of I can never be rich because I was born into a poor family, because I'm an immigrant boy, and because, whatever other excuse I had at the time, to, oh, you can actually become rich by having habits or implementing habits that the rich people have. And from that point forward, I got obsessed with the idea of becoming my own boss and becoming rich, because I figured that 10 years from now, I'll be just as miserable as these other guys. So there's no point in going in that direction. So from that book said, look, if you don't have any business ideas, if you don't have any business capital, if you don't have a good credit score and don't have anywhere that you can get some money from, you should get into MLM. You should get into network marketing, because that's where you're going to learn some skills, some human resourcefulness and selling and that stuff. So I didn't even know what network marketing was. I'm only 18 or 19 years old at the time. So I Google it, and I see the pyramid, right? So the guy at the top, two guys, three guys, five guys, and all of a sudden you've got like a big team that's making you passive income. I'm like, wow, that's so much better than having a job, And so I look up this network marketing company online called Global Domains International, where I join for $10 a month, and if I refer somebody, I'll get $1. And if they refer two other people, I get $2 from that, and then it compounds, and all of a sudden you can be making $3,000 a month. Needless to say that just like in this company and two other companies I joined, I never made anything. But it did allow me to get into the whole industry of online marketing, where I discovered the concept of affiliate marketing, which is a lot like MLM, where you refer people to a product someone else has created. But a lot of times it's not a physical product, it's actually a digital product. And this product pays way better, and your results do not depend on whether the person you referred actually uses the product or not. For example, if we're talking about network marketing and we're selling lotions and potions, if the person is not using the lotion and potion and is not renewing next month, you're not getting paid. But in affiliate marketing, you can sell a course for $1,000, someone else's course, someone else's program, someone else's software, and get half the money and walk away with $500, regardless of what the other person does or, with that software, uses that software at all. And that was a much better proposition. And I found myself buying products through other people's links a lot, most of the time. And I said, you know what, maybe I'll give this affiliate marketing thing a shot. So I got really deep into that, and I, even built myself like a review blog, and, but nothing really worked. For about 8 months of nonstop daily effort in affiliate marketing, I couldn't really get any traction whatsoever. I got, trickles of traffic. I got maybe 1 or 2 conversions in those 8 months. But if you took all the money I made and all the time that I invested and divide, to find out what was my average earning per hour, I was probably getting paid maybe 1/10 of what the average McDonald's employee is getting paid. So the return on that was just pathetic. And that was in every person's journey, there's this tipping point. It's either you make something out of yourself or life makes you, right? So I think that was the moment, and that is the point where I could have given up, which is what most people do. Usually they kind of try, fail. They hit this point, they'll be like, you know what? I'm wasting my time. I'm done with it. And they leave. Now, for me, going back was not an option. Remember, I didn't have anything to go back to. I didn't have anything to fall back on. And not to mention admitting defeat at this point in my life would mean like total and complete embarrassment in front of my parents, in front of my girlfriend, in front of my best friends. And, I said, you know what? I need to do something differently. I need to change my approach. I need to figure out what exactly is going on here. So I started looking at all the people who were what we now refer to as super affiliates. So it's the people who are making crazy amounts of money with affiliate marketing. It's the people who dominate affiliate leaderboards, right? And I would look at those affiliate leaderboards, and anytime I would see a name there, and most of the time, as you know, David, it's the same people, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, they're always like the same people. I started funnel hacking them. Now, if you're not familiar with the term, funnel hacking means going to their website, consuming their content, subscribing to their videos, getting on their email list, whatever you have to do to just find out what are they doing, how are they selling products. And you know what I've discovered? I've discovered that not a single one super affiliate, or if you take them as a group, like they never subscribe to one particular thing. Some super affiliates, they drove traffic through banner ads. Others swore by AdWords. Other people said that they're getting, backlink traffic. Other people built JV networks. Like there's everybody uses a different strategy. But there was one thing that was always common between all of them, and I always ended up seeing that, and that was they all had an email list. Mm-hmm. They all built email lists of targeted prospects. So even if they didn't sell you something right away, even if you went on their website, they didn't necessarily shove a pitch down your throat, but they would still say, you know what, give me your email address and I'll send you this free ebook, or give me an email address, I'll show you a 3-step video series on how to, build your website. And after funnel hacking most of them, I realized my inbox was flooded with emails with all kinds of different offers. And then I noticed something even more interesting, and that is come launch day of some kind of product, like say, I remember in particular the Dan Brock's Deadbeat Super Affiliate, which was just launching at the time. All of a sudden you see 12 different people all mailing you about that product. Every single one of them. And, some of them just say, go and buy this right now. Others are saying, hey, buy this and get a bonus. Others are saying, if you buy this product right now, I'll give you a free ticket to my seminar that's happening later this year. But they're all mailing. They're all for the next few days, they're all mailing. And guess what? I'm looking at the leaderboards at the same time, and all of these names, the people who are mailing, they're on those leaderboards. And I'm sure they're competing against each other. Somebody's on the spot number 5 and somebody in the spot number 1, then they switch, whatever. But it was obvious to me that if I wanted to become a super affiliate, I needed to build an email list, and then I needed to mail my list in order to make money. So that's how I got into list building. And that's what led to me eventually becoming what we again now refer to as super affiliate, making as much as $100,000 in a single promotion with one product in a span of just 7 days promoting the product to my list.
That's incredible. And man, I'm so glad you discovered that, because that actually changed my life too. So thank you for that research. That was amazing. The first thing is, don't quit. Igor, as you've seen, had many, many opportunities to quit after several months of not being able to produce any kind of results with whatever else you were doing there, making just a few conversions here and there. You don't quit. That's the first thing you need to kind of put in your head if you really want to make it in this industry, because it doesn't. When the breakthrough happens, it's going to happen in a major way. It certainly did for me, certainly did for, Igor, you can probably confirm that too. Once you find something that works, it just all of a sudden, just all these results are happening, and you're like, well, where were all these results a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago? So definitely that's the first thing. Second thing is, you got to build your email list. That is so, so, so important. I probably attribute, if not over 90% of my results today to just being on the email list. Because if I wasn't building that, essentially what you're doing if you don't have an email list is you're starting from zero every single day. Isn't that right, Igor?
Absolutely correct. What happens is when you drive traffic of any kind, I don't care what your traffic source right now is, say you have a blog, say you have a YouTube channel, I don't care. if you got clicks coming to your website, if you're not building your list, meaning that if you're not capturing those visitors in the form of email addresses, you're simply allowing those visitors to leave. It's kind of like pouring water into a bucket with a bunch of holes in the bucket. So every time you pour some water, it just comes out the other way, right? So you need to seal all these holes. So when you pour some water in, you actually have something in it. So every day, instead of starting from scratch, you're sort of like building your house brick by brick. And after a while, after putting enough bricks, all of a sudden you realize, wow, I have a big house and I don't have to like start from scratch anymore. Like say, David, you've got a huge list at this point. And if, God forbid, right, if something happens and somebody breaks into your house, okay, they take away your laptop, they burn your house down, they delete all your websites from the internet, and like they do that, but they leave your list intact where you have a backup of your list saved in the safety deposit box in your bank, right? You can literally take those records, put them into an email responder software, and simply email your list, because there's always already a relationship there. They like you, they trust you, they know who you are. You don't need to prove that yourself all over again, right? And you can just say, hey guys, my house broke down, my house burned down, I got mugged, and I needed some new furniture, right? So for that reason, I'm offering 3 slots for a private coaching program. I'm going to teach you, something that these people want to learn, and I'm charging this much. And the first 3 takers, that's why I'm doing it, because I need to buy some furniture. Let's go. Here's a page. Here's a link. Here's my PayPal account, whatever. And that's literally how simple it is. And just it's the ultimate unfair advantage you can ever have in your business.
Right. And it's again, without the list, I'd be nowhere near where I am today. In fact, probably not even 10% of where I am today, because just a recent promotion that I've done actually with your one of your programs, Igor, I literally sent 4 emails. 4 emails. That's it. Just 4 emails over 3 days. The last day I had to send 2 emails just because the promotion was ending. So I had to remind the subscribers that, hey, we're done with this promo. So if you're going to hop in. If not, then this is gone forever. And literally that promotion has netted me close to multiple 5 figures now, as far as conversions and everything else. So that's just to show you. And I didn't talk to a single person. I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't walk to a hotel with a pitch book and sit down with people and do all that stuff. You don't need any of that as long as you have an email list. Just for reference point, guys, he showed me on the screen live his earnings for a single month, just his last 30 days or so that he was making. And that was more than I was making an entire year with my job and some. So to see that, it's almost like, imagine you're looking out your window and you see like a unicorn flying and you're like, what was that? Like, I can't believe that I didn't just see that, did I? It was way outside of my reality. I just could not believe that something like that was even possible.
So that's exactly my point. Because when you discover for yourself, and when you, for the very first time in your own life, make more in a single day of literally just sending out an email or 2 to your email subscribers, than you are currently or used to make in a month working a really hard job, like say construction jobs, or maybe you're a clerk at an office or at a bank, or maybe you're selling insurance on the phone and it's like all day long you have to smile and dial, right? When you see that, when you discover that, wow, I can create so much leverage with one email, and I can have money flowing to me rather than me chasing other people trying to give me money, rather than me busting my back to earn just as much and work with my body instead of my mind for a little bit. When you see that, at first it seems very, very unrealistic to you. But it is only those people that I've ever worked with that were able to fully embrace this idea that, yes, you now can create leverage thanks to the technology that exists. Yes, you can have people who never met you and never spoke to you before and don't even know who you are, where you live, send you $500, $1,000, even $2,000 at a time. Yes, there are products out there that pay out crazy high commissions where the product creator does all the work and you literally walk away with the money from the sale the moment the sale occurs without having to worry about anything at all. when you see all these things, what I only ask for you to do is delay the skepticism. Okay, don't even believe it yet, but just delay it for a few minutes so we have an opportunity to show you how exactly it is true and exactly how it can and will work for you. Seriously, because the only difference that I'm seeing between people who go from complete zero to owning Ferraris and people who are starting the exact same position of a zero and remain a zero for the next 5 years trying to build an online business is that the people who end up buying Ferraris, they have this audacity believing that they can. Like they're able to say, you know what, why not me? If that person's successful, why not me? So you really and truly need to feel that this can work for you in order for it to actually work. Just like Henry Ford once said, he who thinks he can and he who thinks he can't are both usually right. So please be the one believing that you can so we can help you achieve very similar results. Because neither I nor David started out with these skill sets built in. We didn't have a huge budget. I'm actually not a native English speaker. I only improved my English over time. Okay. And neither one of us, is like an award-winning copywriter or something like that. We barely can spell. Like we actually trust, a Grammarly add-on on our Google Chrome to do that for us. And we never really deviated from our lifestyles. Like David and I come from very simple backgrounds, family-oriented. We don't own crazy expensive cars or live in big mansions or live in LA and hang out with celebrities. We're literally the most average people you'll ever meet. So I want you to see and understand and to truly recognize the fact that it doesn't matter if you start out from the dumps. It doesn't matter if you live in a trailer right now. It doesn't matter if you live in a 2-bedroom condo in Manhattan. It really doesn't matter where you are or who you are. You can change your life literally starting from today. So don't look back on where you've been. Let's focus on where you can be in the next 30, 60, 90 days.
Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Get access to the previous episodes, transcript of today's show, as well as other exclusive content at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. Also remember to claim your free copy of my best-selling book at www.igorsbook.com. It explains how I made millions with list building starting from scratch. Plus, I'll give you $3,000 worth of free bonuses, including my best landing page templates, email swipe files, and traffic blueprints. Go to www.igorsbook.com now to claim your free package.